So what initially drew you to the project, and what was it like working with the legendary director, Robert Zemeckis?
Well, what drew me to the project was getting the call, Robert Zemeckis wants to work with you. And I said, great. Oh, and then they said, don't you want to know the details? And I said, oh, yes, that too. And then it just got better because it was, this beloved book and this incredible part. And I've just felt so lucky that he was my director on this because, it's a scary thing to kind of swing as big as I did on this one. But because I knew it was Bob and I just looked at his track record with his films, but also his track record with with actors stepping outside of their comfort zones and playing characters in this really free way, I just felt very excited and I wanted to show up every day and be worthy of his film.
Definitely, for sure. How much input did you have, and how fun was it working with the costume and hair and makeup teams to create such a magical look?
Well, every department on this movie they were working at the absolute top of their game. And I mean, it was such a collaboration and we really inspired each other.
How did you react when you first saw the changes to your character when, she was all fully animated for the film afterwards?
I was just so happy. I mean, it just worked. I've got to say that, I'm not going to go based on my own reaction because of course I'm always going to I'm not going to have the fun reaction. The fun reaction is your reaction. The fun reaction is watching other people react to her. And just like seeing people go with this absolute weirdo has been a real thrill for me.
I know that was definitely like a highlight when I was watching it because I was like, I want to see like what she fully turns into, and I was just amazed by everything. But so you guys shot on a lot of practical sets. What was it like to work in the elaborate environments that they created for you guys?
It was so beautiful to, just kind of really feel yourself and your performance in the space, to know that the ballroom, for example, was going to be so massive that it felt like I could make my performance big enough to match it. But then I've got to say, it was a real lesson for me, even after however many years I've been doing this. Joanna Johnson did the costumes, and in person, they were absolutely beautiful. But then I happened to see a shot of all of the witches, and I saw the way the fabrics came alive on camera. And I realized there's just a whole nother level of filmmaking that I haven't figured out yet or paid attention to, which is not just how things look in person, but then how the film finds them, how the light finds them, and how they translate. And it was the most gorgeously woven visual tapestry that she had created with Bob. And I was truly, truly floored by it. Same thing with the sets. So, I mean, it was such a rich project. I loved every minute.
Definitely, for sure. Can you talk about what it was like working with Octavia and, of course, reuniting with Stanley after all these years?
I love Stanley. So Octavia, she was one of those actresses for me. You're like, oh, please just let her be as good as in person as I think she is. And she was even better. She was such a joy and we had a laugh and she's just so inspiring. Like just the way she just gets things done. She was telling me about other projects she had kind of on the back burner and it just all sounded so fantastic and I just and I love her performance. I love how grounded it is, and I think that kind of made the film play well off of each other in both realms. And then Stanley gave me such a gift on this one because coming in knowing the way the performance had kind of come together for me and knowing that I was going to be taking this big swing right off the bat. I did my first rehearsal and I stepped on my mark and I said my first line in the accent as the character with the voice, and Stanley just broke into giggles. And I thought that, and knowing Stanley from Devil Wears Prada, I knew that was a really good sign because he only laughs when things are really funny.
Yeah, no, definitely, for sure. I mean, it was interesting to watch because in Devil Wears Prada, technically, like he has the higher chip and you're following along, and now you or the
It was
grand
my
high
turn.
and
Now
you're
it's my turn to make him
yeah,
laugh.
definitely.